I didn't say he has to do any accusing, nor we would do that, but I'm saying is, let's worry. If you watch what happened to Devin just came out and said the damage is done after the fight. You can never go and repair that. So let's be cautious, let's be prepared, and at the very least, join 365 Bada, 365 drug testing like Devin is doing.
Just now, Bill Haney issued a serious warning to Crawford ahead of his fight with Canelo, highlighting the dangers of facing this level of competition. Haney's words were more than praise. He acknowledged Canelo's size and skill and commended Crawford for stepping up, but also made it clear that Crawford has more to worry about than just the punches. Even before the bell, Haney's point was clear. The real challenges in fights like this aren't always visible to fans. Crawford could face the kind of danger that doesn't show on TV. Canelo didn't hold back either, signaling that what happened to Saunders could very well happen again, making the stakes and risks unmistakably real.
Yeah, you watched Saunders fight, right?
Which one? The Saunders. Oh,
he pissed me off. He pissed me off. Yeah. So it's gonna be almost the same.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, very bad.
Oh wow. Okay.
This isn't just talk. Canelo's focus is locked in. The way he spoke about the fight shows he's bringing that same intensity into this one. When Canelo fights with emotion and memories driving him, he becomes even more dangerous. He's not just here to box. He's here to dominate. Crawford could be facing the most fired-up Canelo we've seen in years. Canelo isn't only making bold statements. His training proves he is fully committed and prepared for everything that lies ahead.
Eso. Venga.
Every punch, drill, and round is focused on one goal: dominance. This isn't casual training, it's intense, planned, and personal. Canelo knows exactly who he's facing and is sharpening every tool in his arsenal. He isn't underestimating Crawford, he's ready to defeat him. If this intensity carries into fight night, it could turn into an unforgettable battle. Even Joe Rogan couldn't ignore one of Canelo's most brutal moves, highlighting a detail most fighters only realize when it's already too late.
Canelo has such unique skills, and one of the weird things that he does that very few people since Rocky Marciano does is he punches your arms.
Yes.
He brutalizes your arms.
This isn't just technique, it's a battle of mind and body. Canelo breaks down his opponents step by step, targeting not just the head but the body in ways that have lasting effects. Fighters often enter thinking it's just another fight, only to find they can't even lift their arms. That kind of punishment adds up fast, especially in the later rounds. If Crawford isn't ready for this pressure, the fight could become a test of survival rather than skill. Bob Arum didn't hold back either, pointing out something unusual about Canelo this time, something far more dangerous than just his power or speed.
Another brilliant guy. He has the greatest punch resistance in the sport. You know, we talked about it earlier. One knockout in the whole career.
Knockdown.
And it wasn't a knockdown. And it wasn't really a knockdown in my personal view. So, because he didn't touch the canvas. He's never been on the canvas. And we call it chin. And I think that we kind of missed the point by calling it chin.
This is what sets Canelo apart from almost everyone in boxing. It's not just his power, it's his relentless drive to dominate. Opponents can land clean or heavy shots, yet he keeps moving forward as if nothing phases him. When a fighter combines willpower with that kind of resilience, it becomes a nightmare to handle. For someone like Crawford, that unwavering durability could be the toughest challenge to overcome. And just when you think you know everything about Canelo, Bob Arum reveals something unexpected, a part of his training routine that explains why his discipline surpasses nearly every other boxer.
Watch him train at the equestrian center, where he would go to the equestrian center in the morning and do 2.5 hours of hunter-jumper riding before going to his gym in the afternoon to do 3.5 hours of boxing training.
It's not just about strength, it's about control, balance, and mental focus. This kind of training develops reflexes most fighters never think about, explaining why Canelo moves so smoothly and fights with such patience and precision. Every hour he spends outside the ring directly increases the danger he poses inside it. As the Crawford fight nears, it's clear he's preparing on a level above most others. But Arum didn't just talk about the training. He explained why it comes naturally to Canelo, showing that his control and balance were built long before he ever stepped into the ring.
Kid, he was skilled enough to do it. You controlled the height of the jumps. You say set the jumps at 36 inches or 40 inches. You know what the horse can do. It's all about staying on the horse.
This isn't simple conditioning. Every detail comes from a lifetime of discipline. Canelo can control his footwork, stay grounded under pressure, and remain calm in chaos. It's all connected. Learning to master a powerful force from a young age gave him a mental edge that most fighters can't develop in camp. That's why his composure doesn't falter, even as the pace rises or the crowd gets loud. That calmness might be his deadliest weapon as he heads into the fight with Crawford. Crawford, however, isn't easily intimidated. He respects Canelo's achievements but won't get caught up in the hype without showing his own strength.
Canelo got a great resume. You know, I'm not going to take it away from him. He's fought a lot of great champions, but, you know, at the age that he fought him in, you know, you know, they was already on a decline, some of them, you know, and when he didn't, you know, you see what happened. You know, he fought Laura, you know, and I thought Laura beat him. You know, he fought, you know, Mayweather. You see what happened. He fought Bivol when he went up and tried to be great like I'm doing. And, you know, he came up short. You know, when he fought my boy from Texas, you know, they gave him problems. But, you know, it is what it is. I got the style. I got the skills. I got the heart. And I'm not going to sit around and, you know, play no games with Canelo, you know, because he's not going to play no games with me. And it's going to be a good fight. And I'm excited.
Crawford's words show more than confidence. They're calculated. He's studied Canelo, spotted the patterns, and knows exactly where the weaknesses lie. This isn't a fighter chasing a paycheck. He has a plan and something to prove. He's not seeking respect. He's going to earn it. If Canelo thinks this will be an easy night, he could be in for a tough challenge. Crawford isn't just talking. He believes every word. A storm is coming, and both men know only one will walk away unscathed. While the media focuses on the talk, Crawford is quietly working hard behind the scenes. Every jab radiates intensity, and every movement shows precision. This isn't casual work. Canelo is sharpening his tools for battle, not just showing up for a paycheck. Each session reflects discipline, hunger, and a drive to amaze the world. This kind of focused training is what separates great fighters from true legends. If Canelo's opponents aren't watching closely, they could be underestimating a challenge they can't handle. Even veteran boxer Tony Harrison couldn't hide his respect, speaking about the risk, resilience, and the true significance of what was happening.
It's a dangerous fight. It's a super dangerous fight. Yeah. And like I said, my answer to that was my skin color, because I'm always riding for my people. I know. I'm riding for my people through thick in and thick out. Mm-hmm. But realistically, super fucking tough. It's a super fucking tough fight. But I like that the best fighter that I think in my generation is daring to be great. Yeah. You know, against the greatest there is to be great against. You know what I'm saying? Moving up, skipping a weight class, going into another weight class to fight the very best. My man, kudos to him. I love it. That's what being a fighter is about. Yeah. Taking those kind of chances. So yeah.
He's endured the toughest challenges, so when he says it's extremely risky, it carries weight. This fight is more than a skill test. It's a challenge of willpower, pride, and legacy. Crawford is moving up in weight and stepping straight into the lion's den. Instead of making big statements, he lets his actions do the talking. When seasoned fighters admire a move like this, the world should pay attention, because moments like these separate the good from the great, those who leave a mark on history. But Harrison didn't just hype it up. He analyzed it with sharp insight, hinting at something deeper. This could be the perfect opportunity for Crawford to make his move.
But facts is facts. He got his hands full. But when it comes down to timing, I think the time is right. If you was going to do it, now is the time to do it, because Canelo is slowing down. He doesn't throw as many combinations as he used to. He's definitely still durable. So I don't think Canelo is going. I mean, Crawford is going there trying to stop Canelo because that would be idiotic.
He isn't wrong. Timing is everything in boxing. And if there's ever a moment when Canelo's defenses could show a slight crack, it's now. There may be fewer openings and only subtle signs of wear, but the danger is still very real. That's what makes this fight so compelling. It's not a walk in the park, but a calculated risk. Crawford isn't stepping in blindly. He's sharp, focused, and hungry. And just when it seems all about power, Harrison adds perspective, recalling a famous bout in boxing history. The Mayweather-Canelo connection isn't accidental. It's a blueprint showing that speed, footwork, and timing can overcome brute strength. Like Floyd, Crawford excels at making opponents miss, and if Canelo's pace has slowed even slightly, it could be costly. This isn't just technique, it's precise, intelligent fighting. Harrison sees an opening. Crawford doesn't need to overpower Canelo, he needs to outthink him. With the right plan, history could repeat itself under a new name. Still, some observers remain cautious, noting that this fight has its own rhythm and carries a unique level of danger.
I think it's totally different. I think, Canelo was only 23. He was very young. I think this fight's going to be great. I do see Crawford maybe pulling it off because he's got good footwork, good speed. But I don't think they're close. I don't similar those two fights, Canelo and Floyd. I think they're just different styles. I mean, Floyd and Crawford.
Robert Garcia provides an experienced perspective, separating hype from reality. He points out that Canelo is no longer the fighter he was in his early 20s. He's smarter, bigger, and more calculated. While Crawford brings speed and precision, Garcia doesn't compare him directly to Floyd. This isn't about copying old strategies but creating new ones in real time. The clash of styles could make this fight truly unique. Lonnie B didn't hold back in the discussion about Mayweather comparisons, sharing his unfiltered opinions. As a former pro boxer and Mayweather sparring partner, he made his position clear and unmistakable.
I think if Canelo said that, Canelo's punch drunk. To say that Crawford, I don't care what version of Crawford we get, he's not better than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd is special in his own right. I don't think he's the greatest, but I definitely think he's top 5, top 6. You know what I'm saying? Floyd was special, man. Floyd had that it factor. Crawford is good too, but in my personal opinion, Crawford just don't have that sizzle. You know what I'm saying? I think he's been matched right in his career. But Crawford is a dog. He know how to get the job done. But I would never say he's better than Floyd Mayweather. Absolutely not.
He noticed too many people tossing Mayweather's name around casually, and to him, that kind of praise isn't something to treat lightly. Lonnie sees Crawford as a skilled, determined fighter, but Floyd was on another level. He had a special spark, a factor that set him apart even among legends. In Lonnie's view, Floyd might not be the undisputed GOAT, but he easily ranks in the top 5 or 6, though he occupies a league of his own. Just when it seems the experts are divided along expected lines, Fernando Vargas adds his own take. He doesn't analyze it with numbers. Instead, he paints a vivid, almost comical picture that's surprisingly accurate and a little intimidating.
I just think, in my opinion, we're gonna see a Tom and Jerry, brother. That's all. Tom and Jerry. We're gonna see a Tom and Jerry right there, bro. Crawford's a little guy, man. My respect. Crawford's a hell of a fighter. Amazing. He can fight in any generation in his respective weight class. For a reason. But you think he's gonna stay in band with Canelo? No, I don't think so. He's gonna try to win the fight, bro. I won't do it. What does Tom and Jerry mean, Fernando?
Tom and Jerry is gonna mean where you're gonna be running, well, which is you should. It's not running, it's boxing. You know what I mean? But I love both of those fighters. I think Canelo's a hell of a fighter, and so is Crawford, and so, but, of course, you gotta go with Ross. You gotta have your favorite. Canelo's a hell of a fighter.
Vargas makes a Tom and Jerry reference, not to joke, but to illustrate the upcoming battle. He sees Crawford as the smart, elusive fighter, probing, moving, and making Canelo earn every inch. Vargas respects both men but doesn't hide where his loyalty lies, admiring raw Mexican power while valuing talent. He's not just commenting on a fight, he's calling out its rhythm. Just as the discussion seems to settle into respectful analysis, Lonnie B raises another point. casting doubt on Crawford's jump to 168. He doesn't just talk skill, he examines past performances, highlighting moments when pressure seriously tested Crawford. Lonnie warns that same danger doubles against someone like Canelo, who attacks with purpose and controls the ring intelligently. It's more than talent, it's whether Crawford's instincts hold under heat. If he chooses to stand and trade instead of boxing smart, Lonnie predicts it could end in chaos, not a decision. Lonnie also points out a technical issue many fans overlook. This isn't about flashy skill but the toll on the body shots, weight differences, fatigue, and cumulative wear. For a fighter moving up in weight, every pound matters. Fans argue about speed and sharpness, but Lonnie reminds everyone that in the later rounds, endurance and resilience, not flash, determine who survives. He goes further, giving specific names and size comparisons that hit home, a perspective that may unsettle some Crawford supporters.
Here's the thing, right? I think Crawford is good, but if you look at his fight with what's his name? Matrinov? Matrinov, yeah. I'm sorry, Matrinov at 154. Like, he gave him trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gave him trouble. I think he's going up 2 different weight classes. I think Crawford's an excellent boxer, but I think his heart is too big sometimes. I think if he get in a slugging match with Canelo, it's going to go bad for him. But I can see him. This is how I think the fight going to go, and I could be wrong. I can see him outboxing Canelo for about 5-6 rounds.
Lonnie focuses on size and durability, factors often overlooked when hyping a slick fighter like Crawford. He emphasizes Canelo's experience facing naturally bigger opponents who can absorb punishment and keep coming. Compared to Crawford's frame at 168, the challenge is real. As the fight progresses, the weight difference becomes harder to ignore. At that point, it's not just about speed, it's about surviving the bigger man's war. Even with all the talk about power, not everyone is counting against Crawford. Former champion Mikey Garcia predicts Crawford will win through skill rather than muscle. "I still think Crawford's going to win," he said. "Yes, I believe he will box him." Garcia remains unshaken, relying on Crawford's intelligence and ring IQ. He reminds fans that fights aren't always decided by strength. Movement, timing, and breaking down an opponent piece by piece can be just as decisive. Mikey's perspective adds a fresh layer to the conversation, showing that even titans can be outboxed as the fight nears. The real question becomes, can skill overcome brute force under pressure? While many focus on height and power, Mikey highlights preparation and ring knowledge. He isn't impressed by weight classes or highlight reels. He values the quiet work behind the scenes, road work, training, and mental toughness. He believes Crawford's discipline and combat IQ could tip the scales in a fight where one punch can change everything. For Mikey, the fighter who can completely avoid that decisive strike is the one most likely to win. It's a reminder that while strength may start a fight, smart strategy often finishes it. Few can speak to both athletes' journeys like Daniel Jacobs. Having faced Canelo and watched Crawford rise firsthand, Jacobs brings unique insight. He doesn't rely on headlines or highlight clips. He's seen Crawford grow from amateur talent into a polished professional. What stands out to him isn't just skill, but the hunger and fire that don't show up on stat sheets, qualities that determine who leaves the ring with their hand raised. Jacobs knows the magnitude of Crawford's challenge against Canelo, yet he senses something dangerous is about to happen. This isn't just another fight, it's a statement. Jacobs understands what it takes to reach greatness and even surpass it.
Excited about this fight. Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him. But I do see this being as a 50-50 fight. But if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford. But also, too, you can't count Canelo out. I mean, would go in, I'm assuming, as the favorite.
Jacobs isn't shy calling this a nail-biting battle. On one side is Canelo, a proven force with power, precision, and presence. On the other is Crawford, sharp, calculated, and driven to achieve. This fight isn't just about titles, it's about pride, dominance, and proving who truly controls the ring. Both fighters have earned their spots at the top, but only one will walk away with the win. Opinions abound, from news headlines to insider predictions, but the ring captures the final truth. This could be one of the most compelling matchups in recent years. Crawford's IQ and timing are impressive, but Canelo's experience and toughness can't be overlooked. It's a classic clash, skill versus power, strategy versus raw dominance. No matter the outcome, we're in for a war. Who do you think has the edge? Crawford, calm and controlled, or Canelo, forceful and proven? Do you agree with the fighter's own assessments, or do you see it differently? Which moment do you think will decide the fight? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like this.